Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream with Mint Markets. Today we have Monday, we have another week of trading ahead of us, a lot of excitement, and I will be guiding you through my daily analysis and also try to execute on some trades live in front of you, but please be reminded that everything being shown and said here is my personal opinion and is no trade nor investment advice here. Let me check real quick, in fact, if I'm already live. Don't see anything yet. Still don't see anything yet. But it shows me that I am actually streaming. That's interesting. That is interesting. So looks like I'm having problems again. Not sure what's going on. Oh no, now I have the confirmation that it works in fact. All right, I will start right with my analysis and into our trading. I have the confirmation. We have as you can see, we have a very distorted session so far. We'll start right with my analysis. So basically, market is really in a holding position. Basically, watching ICT streams prior to my stream as well. So it's really difficult right now. ICT was not willing to take any trades. I will probably be a short session from me as well, but I will see if I can carve something out of it. 11:30, so wait for the next macro. 11:30, so wait for the next macro. 11:30, so wait for the if you're watching, let me know through the chat function. If you're watching, let me know through the chat function. If you're watching, let me know through the chat function. I will see your comments and I will happily reply and talk to you. I will see your comments and I will happily reply and talk to you. I will see your comments and I will happily reply and talk to you. I will see your comments and I will happily reply. So far, the overall direction I'm looking to so far. The overall direction will still help, but my overall directional bias is bullish, so my daily bias for today is bullish. My overall directional bias is bullish, so my daily bias for today is bullish. 50 bias, NASDAQ daily bias for today is bullish. We had already moved today, NASDAQ 945. We had already moved today, exciting. And so far, 945. The green levels are our last daily high value. So far, 945. The green levels are our last daily high value. So far, shaded levels are our last daily high value. So far, shaded levels are our last level of 1%. Very really shaded levels are our last level of 1%. Very shaded levels are our line from today's week, and these two red lines are then are the first fair value gaps from yesterday. Sorry, from Friday and Thursday. Are the first fair value gaps from yesterday. Sorry, from Friday and Thursday. Are the first fair value gaps. As already mentioned, yesterday we have very much time distortion here. You can see back and forth. No clear setups. Really hard to put a stop here. As already mentioned, pretty easy to get stopped out here. Very much time distortion here. You can see back and forth. Oh, probably need to turn off my voice, otherwise sound will be doubled. I hope it's fine now. And it's especially challenging to take a trade here. This is the 8:30 price today, and we have the midnight price from today. So we are below the midnight price, but above the 8:30 opening price. And we have the first presented fair value gap here, midpoint of opening range gap. The opening range is here, the high is here, the low is here, so that's our opening range here, high to low. And again, we are looking for higher prices and waiting for the market being released and run for. First target would be 2164, the second target around 2200, and my ultimate target on the daily chart would be 2250. So let's see if we can finally find a setup. I will look for a setup in around 5 minutes, which is the full hour macro. We have a little market structure shift here. We have a fair value gap here. We have lower fair value gaps here as well. This would be a balanced price range here, fair value gaps on both sides here, so it should really not be able to get through this range here. So we could be entering here in this fair value gap and put our stop below this balanced price range here, below the 50% level of this wick. So I'm watching that actually. And would be interesting to see if we can finally break out here, or if we are still trapped in this range and try to go lower after basically taking buy side liquidity here out. I'm willing to risk one trade today with not a lot of leverage, and if it stops me out, I will move to the PM session and not worry too long about today's session here. I want to get in and out quickly. So still waiting for this potential fair value gap here, price to touch it and trade away from that. We have a low, a high, a low here. So we have a market structure shift here. So we can see if we can get into that on the 1 minute chart. The 15-minute chart still looks pretty busy. A lot of distortion here. 3-minute fair value gap here. So we have traded to 50% of the wick, and looks like we're breaking lower, so that's not ideal for a long in my opinion. So we might see further distortion here. If it breaks, now it has to break through this order block after taking buy side liquidity. Was not strong enough to break 50% of this wick here, so that's not ideal. Let's see. 1 minute until this opening full hour macro starts here. Doesn't look extremely bullish right now. But we will study that. And Q, think we will go higher at some point today. Really looks like it. Let's check out the ES real quick. Doesn't look like it wants to explode to the upside yet. Took out the buy side liquidity here. Traded. Trade opened here. 9:30 traded to the midpoint. Used the first fair value gap as an inversion at some point and managed to take out the high here so far. But we still have some range left of the opening range here. New week opening gap, old first fair value gap here, so let's see, but doesn't look super bullish at the very moment. Looks like it could still retrace lower and upset sell side liquidity. Failed to touch the fair value gap here. However, I think it was able to touch to get into a 3-minute fair value gap here, so that's even a higher one. So it touched that and we saw a little reaction here off that 3-minute fair value gap, which I have to extend a little bit lower. Now it would be accurate. However, I'm expecting it to fail, to be honest. Don't think we're very bullish yet. So far, we are respecting it. So far, we are in the macro window between 10:10 and 11:10, 10:50 and 11:10 New York time. and we have a little bit, we're lacking behind the ES. If we contrast that, the ES was able to, S&P was able to take out the high here, and NQ was not yet. So we have NQ is the sixth sister so far. One could have entered here for 20 handles. Right now it looks like it wants to move. We have buy side liquidity above here. Looks like it wants to move. Now, finally. Immediate retracement back. Took out the high here. Comes back to this bullish order block here. Not very convincing at the moment. And we see an immediate retracement lower. That's what we not really want to see if we're long here. Difficult. Where to put the stop? If we enter long here, where to put the stop? That is the deciding question. Alright, so we are back in this fair value gap, and it looks like we are still in a time distortion. Price is still held, not running higher, free without any retracements. Now we're back into a bearish market structure shift. So I don't feel confident too long in here. I might take a turtle soup once we upset some sell side liquidity, some long here. Maybe I'm trying that with a very low risk. We have a breaker here in the 15-minute, even though it's very choppy. Low, high, lower low. Traded through, breaker here, but we took out the sell side liquidity already. The buy side, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. We traded into the second fair value gap here that I mentioned. balanced price range here. We actually traded into that. And so far it's being respected. We have a potential inversion fair value gap here. I have to annotate that one. And we are 10 minutes inside the macro window and still no real movement. We have some movement, but not some real nice one-sided trustworthy movement in my opinion. We had the market structure shift, came back, upset liquidity here, traded into the fair value gap here. We have a balanced price range so far, has been respected, but I'm still not trusting it really. The chop is too real. I can see it go lower still. Upset some sell side. Once more. And I don't want to be the liquidity today. In these conditions, it's better sometimes to not take a trade and preserve your capital. It's really like gambling. If the market doesn't break out of this holding pattern, it's like almost impossible to set a trustworthy stop loss. All right. Another time to upset liquidity here. Here we have an old daily low. That's an important level. Let's see if we can find some resistance here or if we just follow through there. We're back to the opening range gap. And we have a lot of sell side liquidity down there. So all this, we have a diagonal trend line here, which is usually retail logic that is likely being attacked. So let's see if we can upset the liquidity here. People are probably thinking, oh, that's support here. Let's buy it here. And that should be rated now. I expect it to be rated take out this low, maybe this low, and we have unfinished business down here. Not sure if we can get all the way down here, but that's something we could expect. And actually I did not see the sell setup here. We have a high, low, higher high, market structure shift, 2022 model entry here, going short. That would have been a valid trade actually. Attacking sell side here. Traded back once more into this first fair value gap here. Let's see if it can go a little bit deeper and upset the liquidity here, at least this low. This low I would like to see taken out. That was too shallow in my opinion. And almost there. And now we got this low taken, nice. That's what I wanted to see, that's what I expected. And we got at least this low taken out. Let's see how far we can go lower and how much, if it wants to upset the full liquidity here and go back into this opening, new week opening gap here. This liquidity run might have been enough, but it would be, in my opinion, even nicer if it takes out all the liquidity here, goes into this new week opening gap, and then resumes higher at a later point. Because some people might still have their stop loss below here. So far our first fair value gap here acted as inversion, as resistance for price going lower, and we have a second low here just taken out, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, if I would have seen this, maybe I could have risked a short here. It was in the macro time. What a pity. Mhm. Let's see if it can find some more weakness and set some more liquidity here. This is the old Friday's first fair value gap after 9:30, so we see some reaction off there. Back into the first fair value gap of today. Ideally, if it goes lower, it should not touch the midpoint again. We have already traded into it, left some space open here. And we're back above it. So maybe that was it. Right. I will take a long here with a very tight stop loss. Just have taken this high out here. There, would like to take profit here. Back in this first fair value gap. And let me measure one standard deviation. 11, all right, that's fine. So let's see if it can find its way up again after we have taken out this low here and just basically fell short of this low here. I'm looking at this as an inversion. Let's see if we get that. Or if we fail and break through it again. We should need, if I'm right, it should need to find some strength right away. If not, I'm wrong and I'm willing to take the loss here. I'll put the stop to break even once we take out this high here. I'm forcing myself to take a trade here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Purposely not using a lot of risk here. Want to see it take out this high here, 20.81, one more time. Not ideal reaction here, very slow. Would be better if it jumps up here a little bit more quickly. All right, we'll put it now. We have taken out the high here. The stop is now at profit. And let's see if it can to my target. If not, I could care less. Let me see where 50% of this range is here. 50% of this range is here. Actually, I want to move my take profit a little bit lower here in these conditions. And if I'm stopped out, I will close the session here. And I will continuously looking for the afternoon session to trade. So the trade has basically no risk anymore, so I can let it play out. It's not ideal what we're seeing now. Yeah, that's what I thought. It took out the high here and then reversed, so that's not ideal. However, basically break even, bank 10 bucks. So we have not, the market has not loosened its holding pattern here, and I will close the trade here. I think I will close the stream here. I think I will be back tomorrow. I plan to stream tomorrow at 10 to 11 a.m. New York time again. Might delay a little bit if anything happens, but I will let you know through the community post. Thanks a lot for watching, if you did, and I would be very happy if you leave the stream a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And if you like what I'm doing, these analysis and live streams, and maybe I'll see you next time. I wish you all the best wherever you are, and bye bye.